Top 10 favorite horror books.
Okay.
What do you got?
The very first horror author I ever read was Edgar Allan Poe, which is probably true for a lot of people. I discovered him when I was in like second or third grade or something. And so this is in no order, but The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe was one of my most favorite stories, and it was just so creepy.
Mine too.
Yeah, just loved it. Love it. Ghost Story by Peter Straub.
Ooh, good.
Yeah. So, there was... They attempted to make a movie of that in the late 70s, and, it just... They missed the mark.
Fred Astaire, right?
Yeah. And, that's one movie that needs to be looked at again and remade. And they could probably make a more accurate, precise version of that story now with the technology. The Shining by Stephen King, it's a classic. I mean, it's just like, I love haunted houses. I love haunted house movies and haunted house books. The Shining is the definitive one. And, there's all these weird things that Stephen King puts in his books. The lady in that hotel room, what was the room number?
237.
It happens on page 237. It happens on that very page.
Yes.
And I just love that.
Yep.
It's one of the few books, along with Ghost Story, that I actually got the chills when I was reading it. The hairs on the back of my neck were starting to stand up, which is hard because those hairs are kind of long. So, H.P. Lovecraft, I'm a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. Always am and always will be. Even though his stuff is difficult to read, it was like just a different style of writing back then. So you have to be patient, but it's worth it, man. And The Shadow over Innsmouth is one of my most favorite H.P. Lovecraft stories. And again, someone should make that into a film. People have tried. I heard Peter Jackson is trying.
That's exciting.
Yeah, but no one has been able to pull that one off. Again, maybe you can do it these days with technology. Maybe.
Yeah.
The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Great. I mean, I love it. It's so Gothic.
Yeah.
I mean, and the book, in my opinion, is much better than the movie. The movie is really, really great, but the book is better. And, I'm happy to say that. Carrion Comfort by Dan Simmons. Dan Simmons is a really, really great horror author. He's in the same class to me as Peter Straub, Stephen King. He did an epic sort of like The Stand kind of story, at one point. And, I really think that he's like a bit unsung, and not enough people really know about Dan Simmons, but he's a great author. Red Dragon by Thomas Harris.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which is, the story before Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
I remember buying that book on fluke and flying through it in literally 3 days. And then all of a sudden seeing Silence of the Lambs and going, oh my God, there's a movie, and yeah. But that's a really, really great book. Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft. Love that story so much we had to name an instrumental after it.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, but the concept of Cthulhu is just so cool, and the old ones and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the Cthulhu Mythos. I love H.P. Lovecraft just for the fact that he created this whole world. Books of Blood by Clive Barker.
Ooh, good.
Yeah. I had the original versions that came, with the book covers and slipcase. Good stuff. Really good stuff. And Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. When I first read that book, I just couldn't believe how great it was. And, as a guy who lived in San Francisco, and at that time Anne Rice lived in San Francisco, and there was all these connections to Anne Rice. It was pretty cool. And she used to hang out at this one bar that was just right down the street from my old house in San Francisco. And that bar was where she came up with a lot of the ideas for Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. that first interview with the vampire book and the vampire Lestat are really, really great.